So my 16-year-old says to me, you should let me dye my hair. And of course, being dad, my first thought is, what? You want a what? But I didn't. So my first question was, what color? And the color doesn't matter. I mean, it is what it is. She's a teenager and she is working on herself, and that involves expression. And so, as parents, particularly dads and daughters, I know we have this certain vision in our heads of how we want our kids to be, sons and daughters. And we draw a different line for our daughters than we do for our sons. We do this by default. If I say anything different, then I'm lying. And being a father with three daughters, yes, I draw the line differently. I work out daily. I stay in the gun range, and I keep my training up. Jokingly, but seriously. So eventually, my statement was, express yourself, but represent yourself. And that's what we should do as parents, instead of trying to not allow our kids to express themselves in certain ways because it's not what we would have done or not what we were allowed to do. We need to take we need to take a holistic or 360-degree view of what's going on with them, who they really are, and what it is they're really doing. I mean, if we're raising them to be these great kids, or we're not raising them to be kids, we're raising them to be great adults, then why would we get so twisted over their little expressions of themselves, as long as they represent themselves properly? So I think I'm going to adopt that moving forward. My daughters want to do something in that nature. Express yourself, but represent yourself. And I think as long as they keep that in mind and they do that, Dad won't have a problem. And so I say to you, myself, and everybody else, express yourself, but represent yourself. Because everything we do, say, where even what we allow ourselves to listen to, or people we allow ourselves to listen to, affects the representation of ourself. Because if somebody sees me walking down the street and I don't know, we'll just say the black Muslims are standing on the corner and they're selling bean pies and handing out Muhammad Speaks, true story, because I used to buy them both and eat them in college. Not because I was a Muslim. I like bean pies. They tasted good, actually. And yes, I read the Muhammad Speaks, not because I was a Muslim, but because I like to read about what people were saying about the different religions and about each other's religions. Basically, I was trying to be informed. I was trying to be holistic. I grew up in a church. That wasn't happening with me leaving the church just because I read Muhammad Speaks, or because I visited a Jehovah's Witness church, or because I visited any other church. It's called having knowledge and experience of. And if you have knowledge and experience of, then you can represent yourself just a little better. But I'm sliding away from my point. The default perception, if somebody sees that, especially with me, because I am a bow tie guy, love bow ties, refuse to wear anything else, wear a suit daily. So, aside the fact that I'm a little tan, sometimes I actually do get that assumption. And so now people see me buying Muhammad Speaks and bean pies and talking to the black Muslims, then they would automatically associate me with them. I'm not upset about that. Doesn't make it true, doesn't make it non-true. But my point stands. What we do and how we do it is always going to be a representation of ourself. So express yourself wholeheartedly, but express yourself appropriately to represent yourself as you want yourself to be perceived, represented, seen as. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And to my daughters, I love you, because I know they'll see this eventually. To the rest of you, thoughts from the basement.